cross-country championships in Amorebieta, Spain. The men are next up on the cross-country course. A large field vying for not only the individual title but the team championships. And you see an official running out. They are going to stop this race. Something unusual, a false start. But unlike the Grand National, Jeff, they were able to recall the runners here.
Yes, I think maybe the people at Aintree, Liverpool might have something to learn from the World Cross Country officials. They managed to stop the race. There's Khalid Scar, twice a winner, the 10,000-meter Olympic champion in Barcelona, now the starter. Maybe putting real bullets in the gun this time, but here we go for a second attempt. Yes, closes his eyes, pulls the trigger, they're away. It's a typical fast start. 11,750 meters to race, 240 starters. And getting into this important leading group is critical to success, but at the same time, it's very important not to expend too much energy and not to go into the all-important storage system, which may be needed later on if it comes to a sprint finish.
240 runners in this senior men's cross-country championship, and grow accustomed to those colors, black, red, and green. The Kenyans have dominated on the world cross-country scene for the last number of years.
And become equally accustomed to the green vests and the red shorts belonging to Ethiopia, because since 1981, only Ethiopia and Kenya have won the team title in the men's World Cross Country Championships. Ethiopia won 81 to 85, Kenya have won 86 to 92, and if I have to go out and make an early prediction, it's not particularly risky, Don. I'm going to go for Kenya again. I do believe they have such strength in depth that they could field 2 and possibly 3 teams with only the Ethiopians to challenge them from coming first, second, and third in the World Cross Country. This is the talent that they have and their strength in depth. It truly is quite awesome.
The course is rather flat and fast. It runs beside a river, and the straights and curves have been given legendary names from the world of cross-country running. A bend in the course is called the Carlos Lopez, and a straight stretch dedicated to John Ngugi. The Bibi Bikila is worthy of another bend, and Pavarinta of Finland has a curve named in his honor.
As does Greta Weitz of Norway, the 5-time winner of the Women's Cross Country Championship, equaling John Ngugi's 5-time win in this event. Here we see Kenya 1, 2, 3, Ethiopia 4 and 5. There's another Kenyan, 311. And that is Ezekiel Bitok. But Kenya up in this front, Ethiopia with the green vests. They're number 133, Fita Bayesa, one of the favorites for this event. Men's overall World Cross Challenge winner last year, having a pretty good season this year, and one of the favorites certainly for this event. But at the moment, it's Kenya in the lead, Kenya third, 5th and 7th, so they are packing very well, as are the Ethiopians. The strong teams in this event: Kenya, Ethiopia, of course, Portugal, Spain, France, Morocco, and Great Britain. And 168, Thierry Pantel, the strongest Frenchman, who on his day is equal to the best in the world.
Dominic Kirui of Kenya leading the way. Ismael Kirui is running in 3rd spot. It's interesting, they are not related, even though they have the same last name. Ismael Kirui is the younger brother of Richard Cholimo, who was involved in the incident in Barcelona over 10,000 meters with Khalid Scar, who is now back, well back in the pack, maybe in about 12th place.
Yes, a bit unusual for him because he likes to be up there with the leaders, but it's interesting, you mentioned Richard Cholimo, Don, who was the silver medalist in the 10,000 meters. He is not in the Kenyan team. They've left 2 good quality teams behind them. So great is their strength. Now Kenya 1, 2, and 4. Thierry Pantel of France still up in that leading group. And 137. Haile Gebrselassie of Ethiopia, 2nd in the World Junior Cross Country Championships in '92, and the 5,000 and 10,000 meters World Junior Champion on the track. So here's a young man making a transition to the senior ranks, and so far doing it very successfully.
Dominic Kirui, and now Ismael Kirui moving up to his shoulder, running 1-2. Ismael Kirui actually could still compete in the World Junior Cross Country Championships. He is still eligible as far as age is concerned. He was the winner last year. He wears number 315. Dominic is 314, and he is the leader.
Here we see the classical action of the long-distance runners. Very relaxed, very easy as they cross that road. In third place now, wearing 317. There he is, William Sigei, one of the favourites for this race, the Kenyan champion, and that in itself says something in this event, and first in the World Cross Challenge in Nairobi in front of 9 other Kenyans. He presently in third place, as we see the red-clad figure of Khalid Scar in 5th place. 4 Kenyans leading. Khalid Scar, winner in 90 and 91, and the Olympic 10,000 meters champion from Morocco in 5th place.
Scar's name in Arabic means the runaway, and right now he appears to be a runaway as he tries to maintain contact with the front-running Kenyans. He has really put on a burst to get up with the front-running Kenyans, the 4 of them leading the way, the 2 Kiruis out in front, William Sigei running in 3rd place.
And behind Scar, 4 Ethiopians. We see the North African Rift Valley Challenge, Kenya, Ethiopia, and then, of course, Scar of Morocco. So the Africans, as usual, right up in the forefront of this World Cross Country Championship.
Lopez of Portugal was the winner in 1984 and 1985, but since then it has been dominated by the Africans. They have won the individual championship every year since. John Ngugi, of course, a 5-time champion, ineligible to compete this year because of a drug testing problem.
Team scoring is slightly different in this race, whereas in the women's and the junior races, 6 in the team and 4 to score. In the senior men's race, 9 in the team and 6 to score. But remember, those 3 other runners can play a very, very major role in helping their team to win by finishing close to the front and therefore making competitors from the other teams have a higher score, because it's the lowest aggregate that wins, as we see the typical scene of 2 beautiful, smooth-running Kenyans leading the World Cross Country field.
Well, despite the pace and the distance of ground they have covered, Dominic Kirui, number 314, looking very relaxed. William Sigei of Kenya, running in 3rd place, appears to have much more of a rolling motion. He appears to be laboring a little more than Dominic Kirui. So we still have 1 lap remaining in this men's World Cross Country Championship, being dominated by the Kenyans.
Dreams. Not just for yourself, but more for your kids.
Yeah, hoping the future will be okay and they'll be happy.
Sharing. You know, not seeing everything the same old way.
Yeah, like having an appreciation of how other people live.
Saying that's one thing. Meaning it? Well, that's another.
Bank of Montreal. We're paying attention.
Great. But as customers, we'll be watching.
1,000 years ago, the Vikings landed. Centuries later, the great explorers arrived. And they're still coming.
Call 1-800-563-6353 for your free travel guide to Newfoundland and Labrador. A world of difference.
People who don't signal. People who do signal. People on car phones.
Driving these days, you can't afford bad brakes. You can, however, afford Speedy. Licensed mechanics, dealer quality parts, and the best guarantee anywhere. You've got a lot of reasons to stop at Speedy.
General all-around boneheads.
You'll never get a better brake. Guaranteed.
driving's Winter Nationals.
Welcome back to the World Cross Country Championships. The Kenyans continuing to lead the way. Dominic Kirui dominating the field as he has almost from the start. Let's take a break now and shift over to the Junior Men's Championship that was contested earlier. And in the Junior Men's competition, there were 119 competitors awaiting starting instructions.
No surprise to hear that the strong teams in this competition, Kenya, Ethiopia, Morocco, Spain, Russia and South Africa. But watch again for these Kenyans and Ethiopians. We're familiar now with this pretty fast start as we see this cluster of Kenyans racing away from the start. Kevin Sullivan of Canada I saw there up in that leading group, better known perhaps at home as a 1500-meter runner. There he is in the middle of that field, running very well up in this leading group. The red vest of Canada, alongside some Japanese and some Kenyans and some Spanish runners and runners from France. It's a tight bunch, but Kevin Sullivan is in there. And here the Kenyans beginning to make their move early.
The junior men, like the junior women, running barefoot for Kenya. Kevin Sullivan, the Canadian, wearing vest number 66 in the middle of the pack.
And I think a cautionary note for all other nations. We have seen in previous years the dominance of the Kenyan and Ethiopian men in the juniors, and we've seen a lot of those juniors come through to race successfully as seniors. And here we begin to see this cluster of Kenyans at the front, the green vests of Ethiopia, and then a mixture of many of the other nations, including Morocco, Portugal, Spain and France. There's Sullivan just over the barrier, still up in that leading group of 20 on the left of your picture right now, so doing very well to stay up with this early pace.
Barriers at 1,600 meters and 2,100 meters on this course. Some have picked out an opening in the small pines that are planted there and run through them rather than hurdle the barrier that has been set up.
Yes, not too many hurdlers amongst this group, although of course with the Kenyans, many of their top distance runners are also excellent steeplechasers. Kenya having the greatest strength in depth of any nation in the world, of course, in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. There's Kevin Sullivan. Sorry, Don. There's Kevin Sullivan just on the very left of the picture, behind this leading group of about 22 runners, 20 runners. So he's doing very well to keep up in this leading group.
Number 213 is Josephat Machuka. 214 is Philip Mosima. And they are running to the outside. And now Mosima has the lead. Number 212. Koski is attempting to make some inroads on him, but it is Kenya 1, 2, 3, 4, much like the field we saw in the senior men's event when we last left it.
Can't have a better score than that. 1, 2, 3, 4 with 4 to count. It's the lowest possible score you can achieve. It represents a 100% performance.
Philip Mosima of Kenya now in the lead, running to the finish line, sprinting there ahead of Christopher Koski, and he is going to win the junior men's crown, and it will be Kenya. 1, 2, 3, 4. Josephat Machuka in third place. Lazarus Nyaraka finishing fourth. So Philip Mosima finishes in first. Kevin Sullivan, a fine performance. He finished in 13th place. Canada in 12th place in the team standings. Kenya leading Ethiopia and Morocco in team finishing. And as we saw in the junior men's, it is Kenya dominating again in the senior competition. Could this be another 1, 2, 3, 4 finish? We see a runner from Zaire being lapped.
And this is a 2,000-meter loop that they're running on, so to be lapped shows just what a tremendous pace these lead runners are moving at, as we see Khalid Scar, winner on 2 occasions in this cluster, with 3 Ethiopians and 2 Kenyans, but ahead of them by about 30 meters are another 2 Kenyans, the Kiruis, and of course William Sigei. So 3 Kenyans ahead of this group. In this group, 2 more Kenyans, 3 Ethiopians and a Moroccan. So Kenya and Ethiopia certainly packing the lead running positions yet again.
Jeff, do you have any theories as to why the Kenyans are so dominating in cross-country running?
Yes, without doubt, Don. One of the reasons is, of course, the Rift Valley of northeast Africa, where the Kenyans and Ethiopians live, many of them living over 7,000 feet, so altitude plays an advantage and plays a part in their performance. But so also does a simple lifestyle, and a very active lifestyle, particularly when they're youngsters going to school, where in many cases they walk 5 to 10 kilometers there and back, or walk and run it. They have a simple diet, but also, and it should never be overlooked, they work very, very hard indeed in training. They have team training camps where they push each other very hard, and this all plays out into the scene that we see here, and the scene that we have seen for this last 10 years.
The 2 Kiruis running 1-2. William Sigei is running in 3rd spot, but such a relaxed running style for the leader, Dominic Kirui.
Yes, and this young man, 3:14, Dominic Kirui, has run 13 minutes 17 for 5,000 meters, which is a world-class time. So he has lots of endurance and pace and talent, good on the track and good in cross-country. So we see Kenya 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. 6 to count in this race, remember, out of the team of 9. So there's no question that they're going to take the team title yet again. What remains in question is who's going to be the individual winner. 3:14 and 3:15, Dominic Kirui and Ismael Kirui. Ismael Kirui in line also for the World Cross Challenge, as we see an exhausted athlete there. The pace has been too much for him. Ismael Kirui, as we were saying, in line for the World Cross Challenge with Fita Bayesa of Ethiopia. Fita Bayesa, one of the favourites for this race, having dropped back and not having a good race at all. So it may be that Ismael Kirui can also win the World Cross Challenge, as well as scoring very, very highly indeed in the World Cross Country Championships. 317, the 3rd of these Kenyans, one of the pre-race favourites, William Sigei, the Kenyan champion.
Sigei has narrowed the gap between himself and the front-running Kiruis. Dominic Kirui continuing to lead, but now Sigei is moving up and challenging Ismael Kirui for 2nd place.
And Sigei has had an excellent winter season. He's won 6 times on the World Cross competition. Very, very good indeed. There we see him, the longer-legged 317, not quite as smooth, a little more wayward about the arms than the other 2. 314, Dominic Kirui, very loose and relaxed. But again, the runner in white being lapped. Kenya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the moment. Outstanding demonstration of world talent in this cross-country event.
Conditions certainly different from what we witnessed last year in Boston, where a spring snowstorm made the course somewhat slippery and conditions rather chilly for the cross-country runners. Here, almost ideal conditions prevail.
And they're making this look very, very easy. They are, in fact, working extremely hard over this 11,750-meter course, which they'll probably run in about 32 or 33 minutes, just to give you some idea of the pace. Here we see a very, very characteristic picture. Kenya 1, 2, 3, 4. They have, in fact, a man in 5th place, too. Included in these leading 5, Moses Tanui, the world champion over 10,000 meters in Tokyo in 1991, and second to Khalid Skar on both occasions when Khalid Skar was the world cross-country champion. So a very experienced runner. Here, some of the Kenyan youngsters having come through from their junior successes and continuing this fantastic tradition.
Kenya 1, 2, 3, and there has been some shifting at the lead of this front-running trio. Sigei briefly had the lead, then Dominic Kirui regained the lead. Ismael Kirui is now pushing Dominic, and Sigei is back in 3rd place.
And it's all the way home now. They're kicking for the finish. And they've really spread-eagled this field. I can see in the distance, there's Khalid Skar. 137 is from Ethiopia. Haile Gebrselassie, 2nd in the world junior cross-country in 92 and making the tradition. But here they come.
Sigei is running to victory. Sigei was quite content to bide his time back in 3rd place for most of the race. Dominic Kirui, who led most of the way, finishes 2nd, and Ismael Kirui finishes in 3rd place. But William Sigei timing things perfectly, saving his finishing kick for the final 150 meters and sprinting away from Dominic Kirui to win the 1993 World Cross Country Championship. So William Sigei follows in the footsteps of John Ngui, who won the crown last year. He is the 1993 champion. The Kenyans, finishing 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously take the team title. Canada finished in 18th place. So the Kenyans once again mount the victory podium, claiming the gold, silver, and bronze. Not an unexpected performance in the World Cross Country Championships in Spain. Now let's go back to Sports Weekend Control and Ken Daniels.